Okay.
Yeah, the only thing is that the opinion has nothing to do with ICFC. It's personal.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yes, I
it's
know.
personal. Yeah.
Because what I want to write
Yeah.
is the real relation between China and Africa from the eyesight of a real insider.
Yes.
You are the insider.
Yeah.
You're the personal, not the ICRC official.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So first, let's talk about your work in ICRC. So you have worked in for 19 years.
Yeah, this is my 19th.
19 years.
This is my 19th year, yes.
Okay. And all the time to do the logistic.
Yes.
Okay. So you based in Nairobi.
Yes.
And your major is engineering.
Yes, my background is engineering.
This is your first trip to China.
Yes, this is my first trip to China.
So what is your impression of your first trip to China? Your impression about China?
Yeah, my first impression about my visit to China is one, that
Sit close to.
yes, one, there's a lot to be proud of that has happened in China, and that if it was possible for me to copy what has been done here and have it in Kenya, I would do it very fast. There's a lot to be proud of.
So you think it's a development mode to follow?
Yes, this is a development model that Kenya can follow.
Okay,
Yes.
it's very good idea. But I think that the political situation, the economic situation is different from China. Why you think that you can copy that?
Yeah. I think the economic situation in Kenya right now is different from China. But I think that where China is coming from is where Kenya is right now. So we may not copy exactly the level, but we may copy the concept. Where China is right now is where Kenya is right now is where China maybe was 30 years ago. And China followed a particular path that has led China to where it is right now. So yes, we can copy the model.
Okay. So there is a purchasing center in Nairobi. Which area it covers? You said that the Great Lakes region of the Eastern Africa.
The office in Nairobi covers the Great Lakes, East Africa, and Horn of Africa. Horn of Africa now touches on Eritrea, Djibouti. Yes.
Okay, so what the materials in China are needed for your purchasing center, your center?
Which materials?
Like goods, you buy some goods from China.
Yes. There are some goods that we buy directly from China through our office in most of the goods that we buy from China are from our office in China. Our office in China, we contact them and then they can get us the goods in China. But there are a lot of other items in the Kenyan market which are originating from China. A lot of items which originate from China and are being sold by third parties in Kenya.
Okay.
So if we had a good link and now we're establishing it, it's there, it's growing, that we have our office in China which we can do more in trying to get us these sources, and we can start dealing directly with the origins in China. This will definitely give us advantage of better prices. It will give us the advantage that whenever there's a problem, we are dealing directly with the manufacturer, and that we can give the feedback to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer can then improve the product to serve us better. So that direct contact will be very beneficial to us.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have worked for 19 years.
Yes.
What drives you to work in almost 2 decades for ICRC? I really want to know.
Yeah, if you look at what ICRC does, is taking care of victims of armed conflict and make sure that their suffering is alleviated. Now, whenever I work every day, I imagine that whatever I'm doing on that particular day is going to help someone who is actually suffering because of a particular condition to feel better, to have a better service. This is what drives me every day, that whenever I give a solution, I know it's going to touch on someone's life directly. Whenever I do something, if I buy a pipe of water, I know someone is going to have water. If our office in Nairobi buys food, I know someone is going to eat and not sleep hungry. So this is what drives me every day, that whatever I do every day is making someone's life better.
Wow, it's very good. Okay, So, and the next part we talk about the domestic politics in Kenya. We all know that Kenya had a presidential election in the August, but almost 1 month later, the court announced that the election is invalid.
Yes.
So, do you think the election, which will be held in October, will be held peacefully? Do you think?
Yes, I have very high hopes that the election that will be held on the 17th of October will be peaceful, because I know Kenyans are peace-loving, and that whatever made elections that were done on 8th invalid was that the Supreme Court found that the process was a process that we followed then, that the Electoral Commission had some aspects that did not meet the threshold that the Constitution has laid. So when the Supreme Court made its decision, it said that the election was invalid because the process did not follow the law.
Okay. Because I heard that Kenya's president is close to China. You said this is not true, and the opposition leader is close to the Western countries. So actually, I talked with some Chinese entrepreneurs. They are afraid that if Kenya change the ruling party, it will damage the business, their Chinese business in Kenya. So what's your take on that?
Well, I honestly don't agree because as an engineer, I have been very interested in the growth of my country, and if I look at particularly one of the biggest projects that Kenya has done since independence, the construction of the standard gauge railway, this project did not start 5 years ago. This project started almost 10 years ago. The planning of the project started almost 10 years ago. Then the people in power, the current opposition leader and the former president, they were the ones in leadership, and they are the ones who negotiated these things with China. Then, now the government that is there currently is just carrying on what was there. So we cannot say that the current position is against China, because they started this model of relationship was started by these two. The people who are there are just making it bigger and better, but it was started by them. The concept was started by Raila, and I remember very well a couple of weeks ago when he was interviewed, the opposition leader was interviewed, and he said very well that he is not against China because it's him who established this relationship. But so I feel that people will say that, just want to throw things out of balance, but there is absolutely no ground that the current leader is actually likely to make it better. Because he started it, he's likely to make it better when he comes back. So there is absolutely nothing to worry about.
And I'm curious about, you asked me how I get the information about Africa. I don't know why you asked the questions.
First, I realized that you knew quite a bit about Africa, and I know China. The belief that we have in Africa maybe that when it comes to China, they are more interested in coming and maybe doing business together and everything. We do not know that there could be some element of you following the politics of Africa, and that here there are people who would be interested to know more than just business. So that's what we thought, that maybe for China, people will not be involved, will not really want to know what is happening in Africa, who is doing what in Africa. Are there elections in Africa? Are they peaceful? No. So I didn't know that would be possible. Just that I didn't know that the concept of people in China wanting to know exactly what is happening in Africa is possible. We thought maybe they would say, for us in Africa, if we go and Africa needs to do business, we can do business with Africa. But I didn't know that even without business, we still have people who want to know what is happening in Africa.
I can tell you why. The first reason is because, I think the political mode of African countries is the democratic. So we really want to know what's happening in African countries' political situation. Maybe it's a democratic mode. We can observe and we can see what's happening there. And another question is, yes, Kenya's peaceful
Yeah.
is really important for our Chinese in Kenya. There are so many Chinese people
yes,
in
yeah.
African countries. So not only the business side but also the political system is very important for
Yeah,
us.
one thing that is very beautiful about Kenya is that Kenyans love peace. They really love peace. They really, really love peace. And because they love peace, one, two, Kenyans are very enterprising. They like to do business. They like working hard. So each Kenyan has an investment in that country. So if anything goes wrong in Kenya, everybody loses. So unlike many places in Africa, Kenya is one place where everybody feels like they have invested in that country. So you do not
Everybody investing in other countries.
no. Every Kenyan feels they have invested in Kenya.
Uh-huh.
So if you have invested in a business, you do not want it to go down. So Kenyans feel like every Kenyan has invested in that business. I have invested in the business. My wife, my children, my neighbors, my friends, all of us have invested in Kenya. So we do not want anything to go wrong because if anything goes wrong in Kenya, we all lose. So that is why Kenya is very rare that they have problems because everybody feels that we must keep it together for the benefit of all of us.
But I read the news from the Western websites, like there are some turmoil or the accidents happened in Kenya because the court announced that the election is failed.
Oh yeah. There were very few situations. One is that when the results were announced, there are some people who went into the streets and started shouting. And the police, they are always scared because they know that when they allow too much of that, there are people within the crowd who can take advantage and do bad things. So that is what brought problems. That the police was trying to make sure that no one goes into the street to create problems, because even when you have a crowd of 100 people, only 2 people can make this crowd become another thing. So that is what brought problems. That when the police responded, then some people got injured, and that was the end of it. But it was mainly that the police did not want people to go to the streets and cause problems.
Okay. And you mentioned, I remember that you mentioned that the tensions between Kenya and India is higher than China. I really want to know more information about that. Do you have some example?
For me, again, when I look at it, again, from my industry in engineering, before we had so many Indian contractors working in Kenya. So many Indian contractors.
Before 3 or 5 years ago or 10 years ago?
Up to 10 years ago, a lot of things have changed in the market. A lot of things have changed in that market. I think for the last 10 years, it has changed even faster. So before, I think we had so many Indian contractors working in Kenya. They're still there, but maybe doing less business. Now we have Chinese contractors, a lot of them working in Kenya. For me, as someone who has been in that industry, as an engineer working in that industry, when I look at the way the Chinese engineers and the supervisors are working in Kenya, I get a feeling that the relationship is better. Why? Because one, I will see one Chinese supervisor would have very many people he's supervising. Now, if I go look at Indians in Kenya before, one person would supervise very few people. Now, why? If you have a better relationship, you can take care of more people.
You said who will take care of more people?
In Kenya right now, if you look at the structure, you find one Chinese supervisor has so many people working under him. Now, if you look at relatively the previous before, you'd find that maybe one Indian supervisor has few people to supervise.
So why?
That's a relationship issue. If you have problems with supervising, you will be given less people to manage. If you have no problem with supervising, you have more people to manage.
You said that maybe it's the management efficiency.
Management efficiency is there and the relationship is good. Now, what you will find currently is that there is less noise. Do this more. You simply give someone instruction and can go and do the work. But the other model, you'll find that there's a lot of noise between maybe the Indian supervisor and the African. So that just tells you the relationship is that. The there would be a lot of noise, a lot of pushing because someone can do something. Now, you find so many Kenyan people, they're just working. They're just working. The supervisor gave the instruction and people are just working. So the relationship
Very
is better.
orderly.
Very orderly. There's no noise. No one is being pushed. Things are just working. I'm telling you, as someone who is an engineer and has seen it working. And sometimes I just walk in the site. You know the sites are working, and you just see how people are working, and you can see there's some bit of ease, and that tells you there's a faster and better technology transfer. That in the morning I will explain to you what you need to do. You will get my instruction, and you will work very quiet. Now I have transferred the knowledge that I have to you. Now you can work very well. But if I am pushing you to do it, then it means that the transfer is not good, the relationship is not good. This is very simple, but if you multiply, it gives you a whole picture about the situation.
So you said maybe India supervisors don't give your instructions.
There was a bit of pushing. There's always a bit of pushing when they are pushing. So either it's not being given well or something, but the relationship is not as seamless, smooth as it is
Smoothly.
right now. Yes.
Okay.
And that goes into the whole relationship, technology transfer, idea transfer. Yes.
Well, it's very interesting. It's an interesting idea. Never appeared on the Chinese reports or Chinese websites. I never heard of it.
I see it with my eyes.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And I also try to discuss it with my friends. I say, are you seeing what is happening here? You see this one person and there's so many people here. In the morning you explain, the people do the work, they have understood. And the projects that are taking place, from my opinion as an engineer, these are big projects, where if the relationship was not good, there would be a lot of noise, a lot of mistakes. But when you see work being done, there's no breaking, it's being done flawlessly, then people are understanding what they're being told and they're doing the work the way it's needed.
Yes.
So these are big projects. These are projects that are taking place in Kenya for the first time.
Yes.
So a lot of things are happening for the first time. So if you see Kenyan doing it well, they are understanding what they're being told. Yes.
So maybe 10 years ago, Chinese factories have more tensions in Kenya's local people.
That I might not say there was a lot of evidence to it. A lot of things that happened is people saying,
Yeah.
when China comes here, they will not give us work, they will bring their people, so a lot of these things were just things. And then the projects were huge. But now we have seen it live, that we have so many Chinese projects taking place in Kenya, and we have all these things that are happening that are good. So that was a notion. Now practically we are seeing that they are here, they are working, and there's no problem. Yes. Before it was just an imagination. Now we have them. It's not imagining anymore. China is in Africa, China is in Kenya, and we can see the good things that are happening. There's technology transfer, and you can see it. I discuss also with my friends that are still in the industry, because I'm no longer active in the industry. And you see there's so many Chinese companies now tendering for small jobs in Kenya. So the other day they built a very big structure for the University of Nairobi. It's now finished. So they are now not only doing projects that are funded by Japan and by the government of China, they are also doing projects that are local projects funded by the government and other organizations. So they are now working more. And see, there's a comment, sometimes I just, these riders, motorbike riders in Kenya, very many. Sometimes when there's traffic, you can ride them. It's faster than using the conventional cars. And then we were discussing with this motorbike rider. Then you said, you see this project here is so slow. If they had given it to a Chinese contractor, it would be finished by now. Even the normal small person now knows that if we give it to a Chinese contractor, that project will be finished very fast. This is something that you do not need nuclear science to understand. That small person understands that this road has been delayed so much. But if you give it to a Chinese contractor, he's going to finish it fast. This is what the small person in Kenya believes. Give it to a Chinese contractor and it will be finished fast. Yes.
Yes, very, very interesting. So we talk about the maybe previously South Africa is the gateway to African countries
Yes.
for Chinese government. previously. But now
Oh, yeah,
maybe
oh,
the
yeah.
role maybe the role of
Yeah.
South
Yeah.
Africa is
It's a bit
replaced
slow.
by
Yes.
Kenya
Yes.
or the eastern countries.
Yes.
So why?
Um, I think
Reasons?
a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it will depend. I think personally, it depends with the leadership. I think the leadership of Kenya has been a bit open. They are more conscious.
More what?
Conscious. You know, when you're conscious, when you're sleeping, you're not conscious. But when your eyes is up, you're conscious.
You can use my keyboard to put the words. I don't know actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I call?
Oh, conscious.
Conscious, yes.
Yeah.
Conscious.
Yes.
Yeah, they're more conscious. Maybe our president and the deputy being younger people, maybe they see things differently. But I personally think that Kenya has been led better than the way South Africa has been led. The leadership of Kenya has been better in understanding the importance of China, importance of business and relationship with China than the South African government.
Yeah.
And they have taken advantage of that. And it's helping them. It's helping them. So for me, I think it's just purely leadership. The leadership in South Africa compared to the leadership in Kenya, Kenya has had a better understanding of the role of China and the importance of China faster than South Africa. And they have taken advantage of that. And
Yeah.
it's helping us.
But you support the opposition leader,
Yes.
and you think that actually the president did good things.
Yeah. You see, this is what happens. This is very important in a democracy. In a democracy, when you go for an election, everybody has someone they support. Once someone has been declared as the president, all of us must support that person as the president.
So you show your respect for the president.
Yes. So once they do it on the 17th, whoever is elected and declared, and there's no court ruling against, that is our president, and all of us must rally behind him. So that's how it works. Because if I say no, then who is going to be my president? I cannot create my own president. It must be the president that is declared by the law. So in that case, right now I have someone definitely I am supporting. It's my constitutional right. But at the moment we have an election and someone is declared as the president, that becomes my president. Whether it's the president of the opposition, whether from the opposition or from the current government, I'll have to support that person as my president. So when I expound the policy of Kenya, like what I've said, I am looking at our president against South Africa. And if this guy goes and someone comes, I again value that person against South Africa. But if I look at our current president, he has gotten a lot of things right compared to South Africa.
Okay, I know. So
Yes, because South Africa, yeah.
that's the real meaning of democracy.
Yes.
If you finally choose the president, you have to obey the
We
decision.
must follow the decision of the majority.
Yeah.
But the minority must also be listened to. But we must follow the decision of the majority.
It's very interesting. So the first reason is about the leadership, and do you have another reason for Kenya's role? For South Africa's role is replaced by Kenya, and you said Ethiopia.
Ethiopia is picking up. But I think Ethiopia. Another thing that is also good for Kenya is Kenya, unlike many countries in Africa, I think Kenya will have good leadership. But even the people are very hardworking. They are very enterprising. I think this is something that maybe you'll find out from the Chinese entrepreneurs who are going to Africa. You'll find out somehow. But Kenyans are very enterprising. You cannot compare a Kenyan to a South African or Ethiopian. No. If you took a Kenyan, an Ethiopian and South Africa, you realize that Kenyans have got a broader mind. They are looking more outside and everything. Nigeria is the same, but Kenya is positive. Nigeria is a very good country.
Nigeria's people are also work hard.
They are very work hard, and they are very enterprising. They have gone all over the world to find out what is. Kenyans the same, but South Africans, I think they are a bit slow. I don't know. I think maybe, apartheid, you know about apartheid? They got independence not so long time ago.
I know the president is Zuma in South
Yes,
Africa.
but South Africa did not get not independence. But the current government or the current management system that's running South Africa is not more than 20 years old. Before they had apartheid. So when Mandela came out of prison, I think early 1991, 1990 there, that is when they started having a unitary government of all South Africa. So I think the system there is still learning. The Africans are the majority, so maybe it's taking them time to start picking up, going to school and all these things. But Kenya, if you go to Kenya, you find that those people who are educated are so many, and these are the people who used to do business. So if Chinese enterprise went to Africa today, they are going to find a more ready Kenya than either South Africa or Ethiopia. But Nigeria is very good. Nigeria is very good.
The same as
Nigeria
Kenya.
is very good, and even Ghana. So that is what is happening. That Kenya, other than the leadership, the people also have the capacity. And that is very important.
Yeah. Maybe some Chinese entrepreneurs find the similarity in Kenya because Chinese people are always work hard.
Very good. Now that's why things are working for these people. Because Kenyans are very hardworking. They will have a good government, and everything now works. Kenyans are very enterprising, and China is bound to make a bigger impact in Kenya than most countries in Africa.
So what's the education level of most of the Kenya people? The education
I think it's averagely good. If you look at the African continent, Kenya is now Kenya, just an example. I think over a period of, Kenya has more than now, if you look at private and public university, Kenya has grown by more than 100% or 200% over the last 15 years.
last 15 years?
So that tells you that more people going to universities, more people going to colleges, more people are trained, more people are ready for employment than most African countries.
So you are realizing the importance of education.
Yes, important. And we're happy because you see, even after the railway line has been constructed, the partnership between Kenya and China, China is now training people who are going to work in the railway network. The training programs that are going on. So this is also providing Kenyans with more knowledge. But China is also finding it easy because we already have people with some small knowledge that you can just add and make them work.
So some Chinese factories have the training course for the workers.
You see, one thing that I learned I didn't know is that China is trying because they have started setting up some small assembly. You see, like motorbikes.
Yeah.
They are not only bringing now full motorbikes to Kenya. We were to go for dinner at 7:30.
Okay, the last question.
Yes.
You said that 10 years ago, people bought some goods from China and sold in Kenya, in African countries, and now that's changed.
Yes. And that's why China had a bad name. Because you see, someone will come from China, and you come and get something cheap, and take it back to Kenya, and of course sell it expensively, and take the cheapest from Kenya, take the cheapest from China, take it to Kenya, sell it expensive, but it breaks down very fast because you took the cheapest one from China. Now, China enterprises have come to Kenya, and they are not understanding the market from their own point of view. Now, they can see Kenya, and they realize that in Kenya, they have the capacity to buy. They are not only looking for cheap, they have the money, they can buy better ones.
Yeah.
So they now come back to China, to China and say, this is good for Kenya, the price is good, so take it to Kenya. So now we are getting business from the Chinese perspective, not from the Kenyan enterprises perspective, where someone comes, takes a cheap thing and sells it. Okay, no, now the Chinese guy is coming to Kenya, looking at the market and providing what the market can afford and good quality from China. Now, if the Chinese enterprise comes to Kenya and sells a product, they're not going away tomorrow. They're selling it and they'll be there tomorrow and day after tomorrow. They do not want to sell something which, if they sell today, you come back and say it's bad. So now they're coming up and telling, this is good, but this is the price. Because they know they'll be there tomorrow to support that product. So they will not only come with a cheap one that's getting spoiled very fast. So this is built in China. So people now know, oh, we can get good items in China. Before it was someone coming, getting a cheap thing, selling expensive, and that thing breaks down very fast. But now, with the Chinese business people in Kenya, they are understanding the market. That this market has the capacity to buy. So don't only bring the cheap, but no, these people want good quality and they can buy the good quality. So that's why it's growing, and we are understanding that China has so much to offer. The building industry in Kenya over the last 10 years has grown in a big way, and it's all Chinese building products. It's all Chinese building products. And that's why you see me here every time I'm taking photos of the Chinese building products, just to show my friend that, look, these items, look at how China is doing it. And they're doing things in a very good way, things that people did not know, but now they are knowing slowly by slowly. And for sure, in the next 10 years, China will have a very big impact in Kenya, because the business people who are there are giving a different picture of China.
Okay, yes. So maybe Kenya itself is a very attractive market.
Yes, very attractive market with the capacity to buy. Because we have a middle class that is really expanding.
Yeah.
And the middle class is what really grows an economy.
They have the capacity to buy goods.
They have the capacity to buy goods. They only need you to show them the good, and they'll buy it. And now it's happening.
So maybe we have the last question about the railway. Do you have the experience to take the Mombasa to Nairobi railway?
So if we have?
If you have the experience to take the railway, Mombasa to Nairobi.
I have discussed it thrice in my house. We are going for holiday in Mombasa with my family in December, and we have made already arrangements that we want to use the railway. Every Kenyan is excited to use the railway.
So you haven't used the
I haven't used it because right now it's a bit of a problem, because everybody wants to go. They cannot cope with the number of people. So if I am going in December, I must book by October, because tickets are not available.
Tickets are not.
The demand is overwhelming. The demand is too high.
The money is too high. The tickets for the rail is too high.
Too high. Too high. It's really too high.
But
so they'll have to do something. I don't know what, but I'm sure the government and the Chinese enterprise, they are looking at the demand and trying to balance.
Okay.
Yes. But right now it's a bit of pressure, because they tried direct. They now put internet booking. They're trying always, but it's still a challenge, because we have more and more people want to go on the railway, and it's not still enough for.
So you said that the demand is very high. A lot of people want to use the railway, but maybe the price is.
The price is okay.
The price is okay.
Yes, the price is okay. The problem is the demand is high, and the train cannot take everybody.
So you know there is not enough tickets.
Not enough tickets.
Okay.
So for me, we are going in December and I have to book in October. That's almost 2 months in advance.
Okay, you have to book the tickets in advance 1 month.
I'll have personally, no, because of this demand, I want to go in December. So I will make sure I book in October so that I don't miss the ticket. But right now, the problem is we have more people wanting to travel, but less tickets available. That's the problem right now.
Right now, but you have to book the tickets in advance.
Yes, it will force people to book in advance. But the problem is, if you book in advance, all of us book today for December. Tomorrow they cannot sell the tickets, meaning that the tickets are finished. So the most important thing is that they should increase the number of trains moving between Mombasa and Nairobi. Because if all of us book in advance, what happens? If all of us book by October, means November, December, there's no booking. So that's a problem, because Kenyans travel a lot to the coast during December holidays. So it will be important for them to have more.
So maybe they will add more trains to.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. But see, they went very fast because the government wanted to give us this service. So everything moved very fast. So I'm imagining that whatever we have right now was just for the start. And that they know that between now and December the demand is going to be very, very high. They have to do something, because you see the problem, if they do not give people an opportunity, their hearts are going to, they lose hope and say, maybe this is not working.
Yes.
So that's why they need to do something. You must also make sure that you meet the hopes of the people. If someone wants to travel, please make sure that person travels. Because if he doesn't travel, then you will imagine that this project is not good. So also politically, the government has to make sure that government and the China enterprise working on it, they must make sure that you can't meet the needs of everybody, but at least they try. So that not 50-60% of the people don't go, then that becomes a bit of a problem. Yeah.
So you think the price is okay for
The
you?
price is okay. The problem is the tickets are not enough.
Okay.
More people are available to travel than.
So the rail is very useful for you.
Yes, very useful. Very useful.
Okay. I know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could you please write down your full name?
But the problem is ICRC does not like its people coming out in interview. So how will that happen?
What?
This interview,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the ICRC would perspective, how they look at it.
Okay. So I will send the codes to you before I publish the article.
It's important so that it doesn't come out in a way that they will not like it.
You said
The
that
ICRC.
I can't mention you are the ICRC officials.
No, it's not
I will just mention that like the friend from African countries
Yes.
tell me some stories,
Yes,
interesting
that
stories.
will be very good because the ICRC is very strict with media relations.
Okay.
Yes.
And could you give me some, the name you want to appear in my article?
Yes.
Okay. Could you?
I think this would be, I am called James Awange Oyugi at ICRC. But if you put Mr. that, it would be better. This is the full name. This is the full name. But if you say Mr. this, it's better.
Can I mention that you are an officer from ICRC?
The ICRC might not like it. That can be complicated. The ICRC might not like it.
I can't mention the ICRC.
They are very strict with media relations.
Very what?
They are
Sorry.
very strict with media relations. What comes out and how their name comes out.
Oh, okay.
Very strict.
Okay,
Even here,
okay.
I cannot say anything on behalf of ICRC.
But you know that I interviewed some other people
Yes.
about what they did in ICRC.
Yes.
Can I use your codes about ICRC in my articles?
Yes, only ICRC, but when you mix Kenyan position,
Oh, okay.
politics,
Yeah, I
ICRC
know.
gets very complicated.
Okay,
Yes.
this will appear in my article, and your full name will not appear, and your title will not appear
Yeah.
in my articles.
Yeah.
But I can quote what you said about ICRC in my report,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But the opposition leader, the Kenya's government, will not. Okay.
But will I see it before so that we just will you show me the draft before? Will I see the draft before just to be sure nothing comes out?
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
It's good for me to protect my.
Yeah. Because I can't. I haven't recorded.
Yes.
So maybe I forget it.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you give me your email address?
Yes.
And I can
Then
send you.
share
my-
me. Yeah.
Okay.
Then that will be Yugi OYUGI at Oyugi AJ at gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay. OYUGIAJ
at gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Okay, you will have dinner with.
They're still there? You haven't seen them. Yeah, but
Thank you.
it's interesting. So you just want to ready, share with me, then I check it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.